Hey guys, welcome to Love of Books, Movies, and Happiness. My name's April. Today's book review is on Caught Up by Navessa Allen. This is book 2 in the Into Darkness novel. And just as a warning, I'm going to do my best not to spoil this, but spoilers for anyone who has not read the book, or if it's been a little bit since you've read the book. This is book 2. There is another book before it. You don't need to read book 1 for book 2 to make sense, which is nice. Really is nice. The characters from book 1 are mentioned in book 2. They do interact with the characters from book 2. But you don't need their story to understand book 2. So you can do them as a standalone, or you can read them in order. Or if it's like my case, where I put both books on hold for the library, and book 2 became available before book 1. So I read book 2 first. I did get book 1 on audiobook, was available on Libby. So I did borrow it on Libby recently. Started to listen to it. Not a huge audiobook person. I actually have trouble focusing when it's an audiobook because then I'm too tempted to multitask. And then I get distracted and then I miss half the story because I wasn't fully listening to it. So I'm just going to wait until book 1 is available in physical book at the library and then do it that way. It's just better for all of us. All right, ignore my hair today because it's being stupid. All right, so Caught Up is part of the Into Darkness series. And it does have a list of trigger warnings, which, as I have discovered with these types of books, it is a very good idea to actually take a minute to look over said list of trigger warnings, because if there is a list, there's usually a reason for said list. So this list includes Caught Up, and this is all from the trigger warnings page. It's all I'm reading from right now. Trigger warnings. Caught Up is a dark stalker rom-com with heavy themes. Reader discretion is advised, as this book contains camwork, sex work, mafia and organized crime, blackmail, coercion, religion, blood and violence, gore, graphic sex scenes including multi-partner, breath play, primal play, fear play, voyeurism, exhibition, being on exhibit, because I can never say that word right, bondage, light BDSM, stalking, mentions child abuse, remembers domestic abuse, remembers being bullied, slut shaming, alcohol, gambling, smoking, mention of serial killers and their crimes, off-page allusions to cannibalism. Okay? Don't let those all scare you away. The book is really good. But they are in this book. It's a heads up, like, hey, just so you know it's in here. And it's not like out of left field for everyone. So as it said, this is a stalker mafia rom-com, romantic comedy, and does have, like, within the first chapter or 2, there were actually things like chapter 2 or 3. One of the first chapters with Lauren in it, I end up laughing hysterically. Just as a heads up, you will have moments where you laugh in this because it is a romantic comedy with some darker themes. Just saying. All right, so that being said, and heads up, just, there's a possibility that, spoilers are going to be through this. I'm going to try not to give too many spoilers out, but just spoilers. Just, I'll try to give you a clue before I get too far into it, but just as a warning, there you go. All right, so we meet, the very first one we meet is Nico Jr. Okay? Jr., named after his father, is one of several, I think he has like 4 brothers plus a sister, several siblings in the mafia. And for Nico, he's not happy that he's in the mafia. It's a family business where his dad got involved by working his way. He's the problem solver. His dad is the guy that they call in when there's an issue, right? Like someone's talking to someone they're not supposed to, they're bringing the cops down on the mafia, or they've stolen something from one of the mafia members. They go to his dad and they're like, this person's a problem. You need to do something. And then his dad's like, all right, well, yeah, we'll get on it. And then he calls his sons, which there's 4 brothers, I know for sure. He calls them up and he's like, hey, we got a situation. I need you to do this. Nico's not thrilled on being in this position. Junior isn't. He's trying. He wants out of it. He just hasn't had a way out. Okay? So when Junior was in high school, he hooked up with Lauren. Lauren was this shy, quiet, bookworm girl who had a crush on Junior. And they ended up hooking up at a fireworks festival or a school festival that had fireworks, something like that. Which led to a very intense couple of weeks of being together where they did a lot of spicy stuff together. To the point that she would write him notes to set up meetup dates and put in those notes very detailed notes of exactly what she wanted him to do or she wanted to do to him, and then she would write in her diary about it. Well, unfortunately for Lauren, her best friend, who had a crush on Nico as well, found out about them being together and got jealous. So she stole Lauren's diary, screenshotted several of the pages, and posted them on social media, which it, of course, spread like wildfire. The whole school found out about it. Without Lauren knowing it, her father went to Junior and beat him up and threatened him for being with his daughter. Then when Junior got back home, and his dad found out who beat him up, because he flat out asked him, who beat you up, because he was going to go deal with the guy, till he found out why. Then his own dad was like, well, it'd be a shame if something were to happen to her, so it's good that you don't see her. So when the social media pages got posted on social media, Junior, in an effort to protect her, denied them ever being together, which made her look like a crazy stalker. Got to the point that she stayed out of school for a week before going back, still getting teased and bullied about it, to the point that she ended up changing schools, right? Well, she didn't know that he was protecting her. So all Lauren knew was that they had this intense relationship, everything was great, and then it hit the fan and he broke her heart, denied everything, and left. That's all she knew. So for years now, she's had a grudge against him because he broke her heart and caused her so much shame and embarrassment. She doesn't know that this whole time, Nico Jr. has been looking out for her and stalking her on social media and through other ways, cameras and such, and following her. So anytime there's been an issue in her life, he's been in the background taking care of it without her knowing this. He's never lost his thing for her, ever. And he's finally reached a point where he's like, this is it. I'm tired of being in the background. I'm tired of everyone telling me what I can or can't do. Lauren's father, who's in and out of her life, it's a very complicated, he's like there and then gone again type deal. He's not really involved in her life. But her father gets in trouble with the mafia for speaking to someone he's not supposed to. He gets offered a deal by the FBI to kind of turn on the mob. So he goes to the mob about it and is like, hey, this is what's happened. They contact Junior's dad and they're like, he needs to disappear. Right? So Junior and his brothers get a call from their dad saying, hey, you need to deal with this. Okay. So now that Lauren's dad is out of the picture and Junior's grown up, he's not as afraid of his own father. He's decided this is the time he wants to reconnect with Lauren. Meanwhile, Lauren has continued on with her life. She has what's called a Me For You page, which kind of sounds almost like an OnlyFans page, essentially, something like that. It is an internet sex page, pretty much. She can post videos of herself doing various things on it. She has a subscriber platform where her subscribers can send money and request that she do certain things, request that she say certain things while pleasing herself, that kind of thing. And this is how she makes her living. She's a sex worker, just online. Her family's not entirely thrilled about it, but that's her. She's happy living her life like that. It's her own business. That's what she wants to do. And she doesn't know it, but Junior is like her number one subscriber. From the very first time that she had posted that she had this account, he was her very first subscriber, and she didn't know it. So, this whole time, he's been following her videos. He's been essentially taking notes on the stuff that she seems to like, with the plans of eventually meeting up with her and using them against her so that he gets her hooked on him again. He's very obsessed with her, essentially. Poor Lauren has never gotten over what happened in high school. So she has a thing for him, but she hates him, and she feels betrayed by him. So there's a good push-pull relationship in the beginning where when they reconnect, she still very much has a thing for him and is still very much into him and is ticked off about it. And her roommates that she lives with 2 roommates. One of them knows the story of what happened and is therefore super protective of her. The other roommate doesn't know the story, wasn't there for all of it, so she didn't see all of the aftermath of everything. So she only sees a chance for a happy ending. So you get 2 perspectives on that. All right, so of course, this whole story is essentially the push and pull between the 2 of them, though should I or shouldn't I, the very intense attraction between them, and a mix of Junior discovering just what exactly he's into. Like, he knows most of what he likes, but he's discovering throughout the book that there's more out there that he actually likes when it comes to like kinks and bondage and stuff like that. This is where the spoilers come into play. Just as a heads up, from this point on, it's all spoilers. Just a warning. So, rating wise, I give the book 5 out of 5 stars for being an excellent read, well written, definitely keeps your interest. Definitely a very, very good set of characters that are very entertaining to read. And yeah, there's darkness in it, but it's not the darkest out there. It's just a good read. So from this point on, it's spoilers. Just as a heads up. Alright, so Lauren not only has her Me For You page, right? She also is part owner of a sex club that is the only one in the town that is designed to allow those that are into the more of sex, like the bondage scene and the voyeurism and all the other kinks that are out there. It's designed to be a safe place for them to be able to explore that side of things. Within the club, there are different rooms that are designed for different things. So like there's a room for voyeurism, for those that like to watch others having sex. There's a room for bondage. There's a room for whatever else is out there. They try and offer a wide variety of rooms and different themes and such, where you can explore what you're into in a safe environment. Honestly, as a side note, I kind of wish such clubs existed in every town. Just as a side note. Anyhow, but she is part owner in this club, which is one of the places that Junior finds her, and is one of the places where he ends up discovering more about himself. And this is a big thing for her. Like, this is a big part of her life. So if they do hook up, she needs to know that he's okay with it. This whole book is essentially them rebuilding their relationship, clearing away lies, being told the truth, and discovering as adults what they like together. There is plenty of spicy scenes in here. Plenty of spicy scenes, liberally spiced throughout the book so that you don't have to worry about not finding a spicy scene. At the same time, there is a good story in here. The challenge for Junior is, having hooked back up with her, getting out of the mob, because that is the one thing that she is not thrilled on, is his involvement in all of that. And that is one thing where he's like, yeah, I plan on getting out. Well, while trying to figure out how to get out, he finds out that the club's landlord keeps raising their rent to ridiculous amounts, and he gets this idea that, A, let's help her out by putting a stop to that. And then B, can he use owning the club as a legitimate way to get out of the family business? This is where the characters from book 1 come into play, Josh and Allie. Because Josh from book 1 is a computer hacker. Allie is somehow related to them. I don't 100% remember how she's related to these guys, but somehow she's family. So he goes to Josh and is like, hey, can you help me do this? And Josh is like, yeah, let's do it. Let's go for it. Sweet, thanks. There are some miscommunications in here. So for those that either do or do not like the whole miscommunication thing, from the first page, there are some miscommunications. Like she didn't know he was protecting her all these years. He doesn't communicate right away when he has to stand her up for a date because his dad calls an emergency family meeting he has to deal with. That kind of thing. So you do have some miscommunications in here with the other themes. But they do end up working them out. It just takes them a bit. I really enjoyed this book. Fully admit, whenever I'm back to being able to own and have bookshelves and such, I will be buying a copy of this book and making sure it's on my bookshelf. It's on my list. If you are looking for a darker romance, spice-filled book to read with a good plot, protective male main character, and a strong and independent female character with amazing chemistry, good friends, and some very funny scenes with a dog getting into adult toys and running around with them, then this is the book for you. It is very enjoyable, well written, and definitely worth reading more than once. Alright, guys, let me know if you've read the book. What did you think of Caught Up? Did you like the characters? Did you like the storyline? Was there something in the book you wish was not in there, or something you feel like should have been in there that you didn't see? Have you read other books like it, and if so, let me know. Having read this one and starting the first one through audio, still waiting on the physical for that, but having done that, this type of getting into the edges of the darker romance is good for me because it's not super in-depth into it, but it's also not afraid to go a little bit more darker than usual. So let me know if you have other authors or similar books that you think I should read next. Till next time, guys. Keep reading.